Come. Indeed, greetings upon you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Another video, another live stream, another experience, another melting of more. Thank you, Kiki, for joining us so early in our streaming journey today again. You're still dirty. We did wash her last night, and she's definitely still a dusty doge, but not as dusty doge as she was yesterday. And she seems to want to relax. I don't know if your YouTube friends can see her, but you Reddit friends surely can. Before I start this, let's say something worth saying, shall we? It is in your consciousness alone. It is your consciousness alone that can embrace all creative things. Realize that all things have arisen from within you. It is in your consciousness alone. Not in your consciousness. I don't know why I want to say in consciousness. Maybe it's the whole being a part of. It is your consciousness alone that can embrace all creative things. Realize that all things have arisen from within you. You know, things you've experienced in your life, the traumas, the happy moments, right? Like that visceral experience came from you, first and foremost. Things happen in your external reality that, allowed you to do these things, to be these things, to feel these things. But it was still you who felt them. You were still the curator behind it, if you will. What am I feeling today? A lot of cold wind. I think it should be kind of okay though. I did create a little bit of what I would consider a windshield for the cameras. I hope it's fine. I believe it will be. I'm not sure if the comments are working at the moment. They might not be. If that is the case, and your comments are not coming through as they're supposed to, we'll start the stream over in a second. I'll give it a little bit more time though. This is a strain I have the least bud of. As in, I literally have maybe 20 grams. Maybe like max 30 grams total of this left. It came from a smaller plant. And all of it wasn't really harvest worthy as well. And it's super sticky as well. So I'm kind of reluctant, if you will. I was like looking through the jars as to what strain, what bud I wanted to bring with me. And I was going for one that I usually go for when I have some abundance of, if you will. And I was like, nah. This is the one. Going to have something different again. Infamous one. Hefty revenue and cable. Thank you, friends, for tuning in. Tandem bike run bike. It's nice to have you here as well. Morning, love and Kiki. Morning to you, my friend. Mel, what's up, man? How's the puppy? Oh, she's doing good. I don't think she's a puppy anymore, though. She's like a... what would we call a teenager dog? Puppy to just doggo. Teenager, teen. A Poptino? Maybe a Poptino. She's a Poptino right now. She's growing up, becoming big. She's calmed down a little bit, fortunately. Like, she isn't as, hectic anymore, if you will. But I'm super grateful for her. And it's nice to have you here as well, Cable. How have you been, my friend? Mr. Merman. Man, I was thinking about you yesterday, was it? I think yesterday. Like, there's a new series out, Masters of the Universe. It's supposed to be a He-Man reboot, and I'm saying supposed to be a He-Man reboot with a real real tongue in the cheek. I'm not going to spoil it for you friends who haven't watched it, but yeah, there was a merman, an actual, king of the ocean merman. And when he said his name was Merman, I was like, hey, I know a merman. So in my mind, you were first, merman. You were first, dude. The OG merman. Did you get it from there, though? I am curious. Is it a He-Man reference for you, or does it mean something else to you? Like Mermaid Man is now... I'm realizing that is at least the connection that they made. Because this being was like the king of the ocean, if you will. How are you friends feeling? Hey, SSSSSQ8, it's nice to have you as well, my friend. How are you friends feeling? Like, I feel there's been so much tension in the world, especially looking at the news and watching what is happening, weather-wise, all over the world, the wildfires and the flooding. And like, it is, at least in my opinion, to myself, it is something that can be a little bit discouraging or deflating, demoralizing. That's the word, right? Or you feel like, oh, I look at this world and it looks like everything is on fire. What can I do about it? How can I feel about it? How am I supposed to feel about it? Is feeling something about it going to do anything? All we can hope to do is try and help each other through this time. Be there for one another. Actually share with one another. We'll get through this, friends. I am sure we'll get through this. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I do believe we can still do it. One thing I am, kind of hopeful about, if you will, is just the amount of progress we've made with our technology as of late. If I just think back to the amount of technological progress I've seen in my life, my life has been completely filled, if you will, with technological innovation. It's in my life that I saw cell phones become a thing. And man, like, I remember my dad having like a sort of touch screen of a little pen cell phone, and you could play this bubbles game on it, by clicking on the screen. And it wasn't always accurate, but it was accurate enough so that you could complete the game. And it had freaking Crazy Frog on it. And I remember, pestering my dad, pestering him so much that he should put Crazy Frog as his, like, ringtone. When people call you, this is the song that needs to play. Oh, Mom is here. Mom is here. You want to go say hi? And he was like, nah, I don't want to do that. And I was like, but why not? And he's like, because I don't really like the song that much. And I'm like, but I like the song that much. And he told me that one day, when you have a phone of your own, you can set your ringtone to Crazy Frog. And I was like, yeah, well, I'll do that, I never did that. I never set my ringtone to Crazy Frog. Ever since then, looking at where our technology has gone, just in my life, just since I was a child to where I am now, having grown up, if you will. These things, even though they're technically in the same breath also the thing that's facilitating the destruction of our world, the constant need for improving and making new, and then people wanting the new thing and then throwing away things and buying new things, like that is part of the problem. But it has also done a lot of good technological wise, especially when it comes to stuff like carbon capture. And if you look at the progress our solar panels are making, if you look at the reduction in costs in those, and the mass deployment of them, and all of the different battery technologies that are being considered, we're bringing flywheels back, we're bringing liquid batteries back, we're melting salt as a form of battery, we are you know, doing geothermal vents as form of batteries. I believe we still have a chance. I do still believe we have a chance. No, it's going to cost so much money as well. And that's the thing that pisses me off the most, is we have these technologies, but it's not like any of us can be like, okay, you know, I like this flywheel technology. Let me now build a bunch of these flywheels plus solar panels, right? Like, it's not something we can necessarily do. But like, oh yes, let me just take out my wallet and pay this $50 million contract to have solar installed for my town. Like, if I could, I would, obviously. But that's not exactly how it is. And then we have people that actually do have the capacity and the funds to do so. We have governments that we appoint to do so. You know, and especially since, like in some countries, like I'm thinking now specifically about Texas, for example, and how they're on their own grid at the moment, and how they're having a hard time providing, you know, full electricity. There's like some sort of also, what do you call it? Rationing with electricity, if you will. If these things are already happening, why aren't we just switching to renewables faster? There's also like a contract that got lost in America. I think it was in Nevada, because people thought it was going to ruin their scenery. Like, oh no, these solar panels are going to be unsightly, and that's why it shouldn't be installed. You know, like imagine being that arrogant, that self-centered, that just nearsighted to lobby against the exploration of like renewable energy because you believe it's going to be something that is unsightly to you. Like, it wasn't even land that was being used, you know, anywhere. What is my intention for today? I feel kind of spicy. Feel a little bit kidding. Calm. When I feel like this, I just need to remind myself to stay calm. Hey Edmund, it's nice to have you here, my friend. Graphite J, well, I'm feeling better. I'm happy you're feeling better, Graphite J. I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic. If I made you feel any worse, I'm so sorry. That was not my intention. But I hope you're feeling even better still, my friend. Good morning from California. Feeling the loss of my brother today. So looking forward to melting together. Thank you for being here with me, Christy. Do you want to tell us about how you lost your brother? How long ago you lost him? If you'd be willing to share this information with us, I'm sure we'd be more than willing to feel into it with you. Losing a brother. I actually remember that I was starting to tell a story yesterday kind of about that. Not about losing a brother, but about how I imagined that I have, you know, with my dad and my little brother going out to sea to go and fish, and, you know, staying away for 2 hours longer than I anticipated they would. And how in my mind I started to assume, you know, oh, the reason they're not back is because they've been toppled over and drowned somewhere in the ocean. And how that devastated me, you know, just the imagination that I have lost my dad and my brother. And I remember specifically thinking about my brother in that case. Like, surely it was a horrible thing for me to imagine, you know, the loss of my brother and my father. But I was specifically thinking about how, like, I haven't really made things right, if you will, with my siblings. I haven't had the relationship with them that I wanted. I haven't said all the things, I haven't felt all the things with them that I was supposed to feel. And I felt like an immense sense of loss, not necessarily so much as a bodily loss, you know, the losing of the person, but the losing of potential time spent with them. You know, and that is the thing that really hurts. How are you feeling about that, Christy? Is that the same thing you're facing? I'm so sorry for your loss as well, my friend. I'm so sorry. Thank you for joining us here, though. I look forward to melting more with you as well. Lisa, it's so nice to have you here, my friend. How have you been? Good afternoon, Estienne. Hello, friends. It's so nice to have you here. The wind is picking up. I'm kind of happy. Like, I have the most ghetto of windshields that is protecting my phone from wind. I'm not sure if it's working, but I sure do hope it does. Oh, I don't think this is going to be... Actually, it is kind of fine. Whew, it's been 7 years. He took his own life while being in a drunken fight with his girlfriend. He was only 20. My mom has just decided to cremate his body, so it's almost like losing him again. Cherish your siblings. I do, my friend. I do try to, you know, and I think that's the part that hurts me the most about this, you know, lack of understanding I have with my little brother. And it's that little brother that I was talking about as well. And I was talking about the, you know, feelings of loss about not being able to spend that time with him. Because I don't feel like me and him has ever really seen eye to eye on a lot of things. Like we share some interests, but it's never been, or at least I feel like there's never been a direct connection with his person, if that makes any sense. Like, sure, you know, I see these are your hobbies and these are the things you really enjoy doing, but who are you, dude? You know, who are you when you strip all of those things away? And especially being someone that is focused on, you know, sharing loving experiences, and not being able to have that with my younger brother at the moment. I'm thinking it is probably, maybe even primarily, because of his own hormonal state as well, right? Like he's turning 18 soon. Within the next 3 months, he's turning 18. So as a result of that, I'm to expect that he's going to be a little bit rowdy, if you will, right? So maybe I should just be calm. Maybe there will be a fixing of the relationship. Man, at the age of 20. And because of a fight with his girlfriend as well. I'm so sorry to hear that, my friend. I'm so confused as well, though. Like, how is it, rather, that she's going to cremate him after 7 years of him passing? Like, has he been in a cold box? I'm so sorry if I'm being insensitive. I'm just trying to understand. Because, like, all of the imaginations I have as to how that happens, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to go into it. Please do let me know, friend. Reddit doesn't like comments today. It seems that way, Edmund. It seems that way, where it like doesn't want you to send. I had the same thing, was experiencing the same thing when I was in Insane stream a little bit earlier as well, where I pressed the enter button like 5 times before it sends the message, and I'm like, okay. I see. Thank you, though, for still trying, still being here with me. Is this the cooking channel? Yes, this is the cooking channel, my friend. We are cooking up ourselves a joint, and then we're going to cook ourselves, I guess. Cook ourselves until we're completely molten. Molten and gooey and warm. Feeling safe. Feeling satisfied. I'm not sure I want to stuff it any, more. Like, it's kind of a... I don't like saying that word. Damn it. Why has the internet ruined me to this word? It's a more moist bud. Like, let me show you. Like, I think some of you friends will know. So, if I take this little clump of bud and I press it together, it kind of makes these little patties, if you will. They like to stick together. So I don't want to overdo it to the point where I won't be able to let air flow through this thing. Look at the size of that dope. Look at it, dude. Absolute baseball bat. I feel I need it today. Our intention is calm, Toasty. Man, our intention is calm. You know, like the thing about weather and other people experiencing weather that is non-ideal or something that could hurt people, and experiencing the opposite of that. For example, like it actually made me so viscerally aware of something that you said, Toasty, about how you were grateful for the rain falling in the desert area, right? And like that's the trip to me, dude, as to how there are certain places in the world that is so dry that gets rain and is like absolutely ecstatic about that. And then there are also certain areas in the world where there's so much rain falling that the infrastructure is collapsing, and like people's houses are like underwater and stuff, you know, or being washed away by the rivers of water that flows from these rains. And how in the same, like the same energy is happening, right? Like there's rain falling and there is a feeling towards that rain, but just because of where you're living and how much rain you're getting and the experience this rain is giving you, be it this destruction or, you know, revitalization, it's so difficult for us as humans to really feel into what's happening to other people in that case, you know. And like, for example, we had some frost. We've been having some frost in the mornings here in South Africa, so a bunch of our plants are dying. Like they can't survive that cold. So the water inside of the leaves freeze and then they die as a result of that. You know, and knowing that that is what's happening, and then also knowing that our planet is heating up at the moment. So there is this disconnect as to like, oh, look how cold it is, you know. Oh, I wish it was a little bit warmer. Oh, this, oh, that. While at other places in the world, people are like dying of heat stroke, you know. That is, both realities are happening at the same time. How much can we expect ourselves, rather, to be aware of? And I don't know. You kiss your mom goodnight with that filthy mouth. I don't kiss my mom goodnight that much anymore, friend. Like the last time I kissed my mom goodnight was maybe when I was like 8 years old. Was it 8? Around that age. Not that there's anything wrong with kissing your mom goodnight. But I'm sure my mom has, you know, had her fill of curse words as well in her life. I need to remain calm while liquidating. Especially so, friend. If you make yourself angry while liquidating, you might form chunks. Saying more on the internet like that. Yeah, I know it's hectic, dude. Toasty. I'm very with you. I'm very with you as well, my friend. Thank you for joining me. Pack rats. Anyway, hi Toasty. Let's all appreciate and love each other. That's exactly why we're here. Thank you, Christy. I'm still confused, my friend. How is it your mom is going to cremate your brother 7 years after his passing? Like, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but that is just like it's too big of a disconnect. You know, like, oh goodness. I like there's only two possible ways that it makes sense to me. One is he's been in a cold box for the last 7 years. Maybe actually he donated his body to research or something like that. Or the other one, that he was buried and he's going to be unburied and then cremated. And I'm really just passed away, so my mom doesn't need his permission to take him home from Cali to Ohio. Thank you for being here with me and sharing this with me as well, Christy. I'm feeling into it with you, my friend. Toasty. Today has much more calm for me too. What's the strain you got in your home run bat? I was just talking about this as well. These are one of the Like I have 2 strains like this that have a little bit of that lavendery, like beta caryophyllene, beta caryophyllene in it. You know, those spicy buds. But I don't have much of this left. And when I jarred it, it was very wet. And as a result of that, it cured really slowly. So it's kind of nice. Kind of nice. My brother's dad was against the cremation. I'm still confused though. My brother's dad was against the cremation, but he just passed away, so my mom doesn't need his permission to take him home from Cali to Ohio. Oh, okay. I think maybe I'm understanding now as to what you're talking about. Like, he wasn't allowed in his cremated form to be in the house because that wasn't something your brother's dad was okay with. He was in a crypt. I don't know what that means. A crypt is like, okay, I think I do know what a crypt is. Okay. So there's a third option that I didn't consider. That makes a lot more sense. Thank you, friend. Thank you for sharing with me. Are you going to spread his ashes or are you going to keep it? Is that something that he would want to have done? If it is something that he would want to have done, where would he want to have his ashes spread? Hey, Corey, thank you for being here with us, my friend. I'm doing well. How are you doing? My comment didn't work. It seems to be a little bit hectic. Legal to grow in South Africa, then? Yes, it is, right? It is legal, fortunately. Legal for us to grow for ourselves and own bud. Not legal for us to sell and buy. But yeah, let's actually calm down together. Ooh. I can legit just feel calm washing over me as I become aware of what calm means to me as well. Interestingly enough, one of the places I experienced a real sense of calm was with like the burning of our farm. Like I was standing next to a field or on the side of the field that the fire was heading, and there was this very surreal / ominous vibe to how the fire was just slowly approaching and me looking at these flames like being taller than myself. And I felt calm. They were, enough of a distance away for me not to panic about it. Being calm in the face of chaos. Because we're definitely experiencing a lot of chaos in this world right now. What I'm curious about is as to how much chaos is more just the chaos that becomes publicized. I mean, there's been a lot of chaos publicized as well. And we don't always get to see all of the good stuff that's happening in the world, unfortunately. I do believe there's still a lot of good stuff happening. I think I want to be a tree, but that's expensive, I think. Expensive? It's expensive to be a tree. I mean, all you have to do is gulp carbon dioxide and water, right? And like sun rays, I guess. Gonna talk up with you today, my friend. Today is a creative day. I hope you have an absolutely amazing one then, Edmund. I'm still waiting on your bliss piece, dude. I'm still like itching. I'm like, oh, what is he gonna make? Like, you're still busy, right? How has it been progressing, man? I've been wondering. Hell yeah, Edmund. Toasty. I have a friend that wants to be ground up and fed to lions. Goodness. I would rather be fed to lions as is. If I was already dead, that is. Rather just throw me in there like I am. Grinding me up, I feel it's a little bit of a sacrilege. Is it just me? Man, I'm just... Why? Stop it, dude. I'm imagining myself going through a meat grinder. That's... I wouldn't recommend, especially if you're a picture person. Don't do that. Don't imagine that. I would rather just like... Man, oh, it's so horrible, dude. Why would you gonna get fed to lions, dude? Like, I'm imagining it's either you are like deposited in like chunks, right? Like chunks of human. I'm sorry to these who are, you know, a little bit triggered by these imageries. Like, it's either chunks, either chunks, your full body just being heated over the wire, or like ground meat, and that's exponentially worse. At least to me. Oh, I think I'd probably donate my body to science. That's what I think is the best. That's actually really cool. It's cool, but it's so freaking hardcore. I have my bass guitar in hand this very moment, Toasty. That's perfect, man. I'm looking forward to it. Dude, may I vent in an angry way here? Because I refuse to get Reddit Premium again until they fix some RPN issues. Infamous One, you rant away, my friend. I do my fair share of ranting as well. I could only, you know, hope to extend the same privilege to you, my friend. Please do rant away. I'll feel into the angries with you, if you will. Man, this is so smooth. Buttery smooth. Like, I'm lighting it a bunch of times because the way it's burning isn't perfectly smooth. But the smoking experience. Hot diggity damn. Calm is really good. Darth Zombies, it's nice to have you here again. Okay, now I'm better now. Please do rant away. I'm still curious. Now I'm curious, Infamous One. Now I want you to rant. Yeah, man. He just wants to cycle back into the earth and figures that's a cool way to do it. I guess that makes sense. You're gonna become part lion, technically. Because if we are what we eat, then the lions are what they eat. So if a lion eats me, the lion will become Meltmore. At least in some way. I understand now, Edmund. Thank you. Good morning, Nap Queen. It's nice to have you here. Hi, Management Infamous. Top of the morning, Melty. Top of the morning to you as well, Shine. How have you been, my friend? It's been a while. The fire was about 3 weeks ago now, I think, Corey. Maybe 2 weeks ago. Not that long ago, but not recently. Not that recently. Have you seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil? I think I have. Why does that sound so familiar? Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That sounds so familiar, but it doesn't like instantly chop. Oh, there we go. Yes. Yes, I have seen it. So, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, it basically turns out as these two normal dudes that just kind of go to this cabin, and then a bunch of kids show up to this cabin as well. And then, like, the kids think Tucker and Dale are these serial killers, whilst they're just normal dudes, and then they manage to kill themselves. And there's this one scene where like as he said, when the kid dives headfirst into a wood chipper. It's a little bit much, but it's like supposed to be satirical. If you can, you know, sit through something like that. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is something worth watching. Hey KT, it's nice to have you here, my friend. How have you been? How's the job been? How has the relationship been? Do spill the beans if you want to. Off topic, but has anyone seen BoJack Horseman? I've seen some BoJack Horseman actually, Nap Queen. Not all of it though. Like, I think I get a little bit triggered by some things, especially when it's like characters that I feel, you know, has so much potential. And I know that's the point as well. You know, the way BoJack Horseman is, it's supposed to be an analogy in some ways, but it can be triggering as well. In that way, you can learn from yourself as to seeing what it is what triggers you, and then asking yourself, am I potentially doing the same thing for other people? You know, and this is something that, who was it? Airborne Army guy was talking about yesterday on his stream, where he was talking about the perception he has of himself, and the way he sees himself is only within his mind and his experience. Like, other people don't see you the way you see yourself and could never see you the way you see yourself. And they form these, possibly, like, every single person forms a different understanding, a different perception of who you are. So they are, as a result of that, potentially thousands of different versions of yourself within the minds of other people. And it's not so much about worrying about what version of yourself you are in other people's minds, but what version of yourself you are in your own mind. Right? He didn't say it exactly like that, but that's the lesson I got from it. Oh, thank you, my friend. I know you're somewhere in the world. I'm sending you love, Airborne Army guy. I don't know if you're here, though. I adore BoJack. It's a good show. It really is a good show. It is an absolute masterpiece. I agree. It is an absolute masterpiece because it makes you just feel so much at the end of the day. I'm sad it's over. I remember... Oh, BoJack Horseman is over. For a second, I thought you were talking about something else. Horseman is in... They are rednecks in September, I remember. Hello, my friend. I want to see more dance move streams, positive vibe. Okay, Moon. Okay, I'm happy that you asked me, because I've been feeling a little bit undancy, like, especially with it being so freaking cold in the mornings. Like, it's now freezing temperatures in the mornings, no matter what. So I considered maybe dancing when the sun has been up for a while, once it reaches equilibrium. So we'll dance. Just for you, Moon. I'll dance for you, my friend. Got a blanket instead of a pashmina today, I see. I'm technically both, I have both. But the blanket has, for the first time on stream, been on me the entire stream. Because it was just, not a vibe to be without it. The relationship is alright. I'm just trying to focus on bettering myself, no matter what. That sounds like a can-do attitude to me, Katie. I mean, if we're going to better ourselves no matter what, regardless of what's happening with the relationships we're in, of our social economic statuses, then we're all going to be good people. And I believe this world can benefit from having more good people. You are loved, Katie. It's super deep. It is. It is, actually. What do you think of age gap relationship? It depends on the age gap, my friend, right? Like, if you're a 30-year-old and you want to date 14-year-old and you're saying, age is a number, then absolutely not. But if you're, of legal age, if you will, and you choose to date any person of an age that you choose to date, then that is your choice to do so, right? But representation of depression, best representation of depression I've ever seen. That's the thing, Edmund. And like, that representation of depression, I see it so clearly within myself as well. Or at least, again, like, the reason we see things is because it is in some way a mirror of ourselves, right? We can, like, look at these character traits, these characters, and then feel something for those characters / not like something about those characters, and then we can kind of take that as an understanding and shift that lens to ourselves and be like, oh, I understand why I don't like these things. I should not do these things myself then. And, like, I feel BoJack Horseman is especially one of those where you're like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. And for me, like, I keep telling myself over and over again. And then it feels like at some point I'm trying to talk to the character, right? Like, damn it, BoJack. Get your shit together, get it all in the bag, so you know what it is, so your shit is together. Yeah. Shit, Edmund agreed. Hey, Happy Down. It's nice to have you as well, Reflect. How have you been, my friend? I felt represented by BoJack. There we have it. It is me. Thank you for the hugs. Moon, I appreciate that. Do yourself a favor, Toasty. It is worth the watch, definitely, Toasty. Todd is the best character. I will not be taking any questions. Todd is the dog. right? I think Todd is the dog. I'm not exactly sure because I think I only watched the first season and probably at 2x speed. But I think Todd is the dog, and if it is the dog, then I do think he's one of my favorite characters as well. Yeah, I like him. I think I see more of myself in the dog character than I do BoJack, but you know, you can read into everything. Any questions? Hello again. Hello again. Welcome. And she goes straight for the cave, if you will. Why am I wrong though? I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong at all, my friend. Maybe someone said they think you're wrong. My ex was 12 years older than me. Okay. And how was that as an experience? Because I've never dated someone and like my parents are like 1 year apart. My uncle is dating someone that's like 20 years younger than him. Or he's married to someone that's 20 years younger than him and he has a child with her now. You know, man, dude got a kid in his 50s. He's only going to, you know, see her graduate when he's in his 70s. Hot diggity damn. Can't even imagine myself as a 70-year-old. Never mind watching my kids finish school as a 70-year-old. Todd is the burnout guy. Okay, no. I clearly do not know who Todd is. Do excuse me. My parents were 10 years apart. Were? Have they been divorced? I'm sorry to hear that if that's the case, Edmund. Yeah. Age is like age in that case, it's a number. Because like I'm just like thinking about myself in context with how old I feel as a being, not necessarily as a body. And you know, when it comes to like that as an age, then I would feel if I tried to compare that, I would feel, you know, bad dating a 40-year-old. It'd be like, oh, you're too young for me. I don't think I'd date someone over 5 years, older than 5 years now. So thank you for telling me that as well, Katie. Like thinking, or at least the first thing that kind of popped into my mind with like a 13-year gap in relationship is just like cultural slash personal understandings of the world, you know, differences as to how you grow up with technology or the internet and how you relate to that subculture, if you will, and then being in a relationship with someone who doesn't necessarily understand those things and how something like that can influence a relationship. Man, I just lost all audio. At least Meld is nice to look at. Thank you, Edmund. That's so nice of you to say, my friend. Even when he freezes, Todd is the burnout guy, I think. I kinda had an Adult Swim audio and visual breakdown earlier, and his eyes were still perfect. I'm guessing you didn't mean Adult Swim? And maybe you did, had an Adult Swim audio visual breakdown. I'm not sure if that you meant to say that, just saying. But thank you so much, Infamous One. Like, I appreciate you friends showering me with a little bit of love. Man, why is it so hard for us as human beings to accept compliments? What is that all about? Maybe it's again, you know, those feelings of unworthiness. It's like, nah, you're not all that, you know? All of these compliments, nah. Insult. Hey, Cable, it's nice to have you again, my friend. No, Todd was BoJack's freeloader that gets into the shenanigans. Oh, that is Todd. The dude that sleeps on the couch. Oh, okay. You know, I know you're talking about as well. I don't doubt it. Reddit is working finally. I'm happy. I was unable to comment before, dude. Infamous One, I'm still waiting for you to let me know, friend. I'm still waiting for your rant. Why aren't you buying premium, dude? Is this why? Like, I understand that if this is why, but do tell me more. We met when I was 18. I think he took advantage of me now, looking back. So you were 18, he was 31. Like, I feel I would be taking advantage already if I were to date an 18-year-old right now, you know? And like, it's 6 years away from me now, if you will. But again, not so much because like it's a body thing or an age thing, but more because it's an understanding thing. I feel looking at the younger generation right now, if you will, there's a lot of angstiness to it, a lot of anger as well, a lot of lack of proper communication, a lot of expectation, a lot of delusion, and unawareness of some things. That's if anything a reason to not get into a relationship with someone younger than me. But like, taking advantage of someone like that, I guess if you understand these things, and instead of, realizing that because of these things you won't, necessarily be that good for each other in a relationship, you go and be like, oh, I understand these things, I know how to use these things against you. Ugh, it's a little bit of a dick move. I'm sorry that happened to you. I hope that you came out of it okay, at least. I'm sure you did. You're a fantastic person, Katie. Same. I kept rage refreshing. I'm so sorry, Infamous One. Hot diggity damn. Hey, Mr. Sticks. It's nice to have you here again, my friend. Yay, I can hear again. That is a melt catchphrase. Which one is it though, Toasty? At the end of the day, man, I think I've been curving down though. I've been like really diligent, carving away at my neurons that have been trying to fire in the same way, if you will, trying to redirect ship. The only thing you need to do different is to be more in touch with your inner self. So that's the thing, Cable. I actually take proper time to get in touch with my inner self, and I do it before I stream every single day as well. And I feel if I don't spend some time, connecting with my inner self, because this is definitely, at least more of an awareness of my outer self, right? You, if you will. Not even this body, but you as my outer self. And becoming aware of the expansiveness, the, you know, different perspectives of the outer self. And then I get time to spend time with my inner self. So I don't think, I have to, at least, I don't think it's necessarily something I need to do more of right here. Because if I do that, I'm just going to be quiet and breathing. And that's not exactly that entertaining. I mean, it can be. It can be if you want to breathe with me, but not necessarily always. In terms of cultural differences, is Kiki still dusty? She's less dusty. She got, bathed yesterday, but she's just like dosing right now. Cheeky says, in terms of cultural differences, I think a great part of those kind of relationships is sharing things with one another and teaching your partner new things and offering new perspectives. That's a great point, Cheeky Poetry. And thank you so much for making me aware of that perspective as well, because in my mind it was, at least until you said that, it was very stark of a difference as to, oh, I like all of these things, I hold all of these understandings, you do all of those things, you hold those understandings, and then for that reason we're a clash, or we're incompatible. But thinking of it as like, oh, you have all of that experience, I have all of that of this experience, Let's share this experience with one another. That is definitely a better way to look at it. Still traumatized from that breathing episode. Snore me. Like, it's funny that you say that just as I was talking about, we could do breath exercises and we can go inwards. Like, I'm sorry that traumatized you, my friend. I'm sure you'll be okay. At least we get to have these little therapy sessions, right? Sorry, I should have said that's a cartoon program for adults, and it had trippy visuals and audio on commercials. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Infamous One. You didn't like the breathing exercise. Compliments weird me out, man. I do not like Mr. Sticks. I love you, my beautiful, wonderful, exciting, inducing, like gem of a human being. I mean, like, especially since you said you don't like compliments, I'm gonna sprinkle you with some compliments, my friend. I know it's weird. I think it's a muscle we have to train as well. Being accepting of compliments in a way that is natural and still not self-praising, right? Because I think that is where we stop ourselves. Because instead of just accepting a compliment for what it is, it becomes this, oh, if I accept this compliment, I am like agreeing with or admitting to this compliment that this person is trying to give me, and for that reason I'm like trying to inflate my own ego or something like that. And it could be that a lot of people do that, but I think it's just about balance, just trying to find that balance bit by bit, learning right here. Start by complimenting yourself. What do you like about yourself? I like my drive to question things. I feel that has been a key factor of my development. What is your favorite food? I'm a big stir fry fan. Big stir fry fan. Just because of its versatility and ease of cooking. What is your favorite food, friends? I like your name, Mr. Sticks. There we go. Gets a compliment from Toasty as well. Toasty knew. I can't accept compliments most of the time. I gotta love the self-esteem. Gotta love the self-esteem issues. I mean, now Queen, like, okay, let's do a little bit of experiment. If you think when you look at me like I have it figured out, or I'm confident or whatever, right? I also have a problem accepting compliments, in the same breath as its self-esteem issues. So I don't think it is necessarily something that is a burden, as it is maybe just resistance, keeping us from becoming our greatest selves too fast. We're supposed to experience this, my friend, I'm sure. The freezing and the nonsense of the comments, no loading. I want to send you pretty stuff like awards, but come on, man. Reddit, get it together. Rant off. Thank you so much. I agree as well, Infamous One. Like, I believe this platform has so much potential. I think if it just had a little bit more infrastructure, they worked a little bit more on the UI. They made a proper integration for PC / like mobile, like not just still mobile, even though it's on PC technically, if you know what I'm talking about. I think it has so much potential, damn it. But the thing is, Reddit are already banking, with ads. They're banking most of their money with ads. We have to get it through to them. They can bank money with RPAN as well. I've got nice eyes. I'm kind, I'm generous. When people tell me those things, I can be like, hell yes, I'm happy for you, my friend. That's the way it should be, cheeky poetry. That's the way it should be. Love yourself. And then you can accept love from others, and you can also give love to others. But it has to start with yourself. I think some compliments are just weird, like comments on body when I am someone with a transcendental view. Okay, so like I'm happy that you say that directly in that way, Cable, because now I feel kind of some liberty, if you will, to take that stance. And I feel like it's something that's so weird to say as well. Like it's something that like, what do you mean? What do you mean you take a transcendental view? It means that I don't necessarily identify with this just this physical being, if you will. Right? It's the understanding that I'm significantly more than just this physical being. And that a compliment about my hair, although nice, and I do love my hair, I don't think of my hair as, just me. Like if I shave my head today, I'm still going to be the me that I am, you know. If I pull my teeth out, if I lose my body, go as far, I'll still be that I that we all are. And I would rather receive compliments based on the development of that eye, the widening of that eye, the opening of that eye, if you will, than just the being through which it's being expressed. And it sounds like I'm saying it and it sounds pompous to me. It's like, what the fuck what are you talking about, dude? Stop being full of shit. And it sounds full of shit, I know. But that's the way I feel about it. Oh, no, cheeky. Compliments don't bother me unless they just don't stop. Yeah, if it's a little bit much, like if it's like a rapport thing or like for me as well, like a compliment based on actions taken is so much more significant than just a physical trait, right? Like it can be a nice opener, right, to like compliment someone on a physical appearance trait if you just meet them, because in that case you can there's an understanding that you're giving a compliment just based on physical attribute, whatever it may be: clothes, choice, hair, face, voice, or something like that as well, like first impression sort of thing. And then as you get to know someone, as someone thinks things, as they share their views with you, you compliment those things. I believe those compliments are more worthy in a conversation like that. But if it's like 50 minutes into the conversation and they're still complimenting like just things that they can see, if you will, then it becomes a problem. Yeah, I couldn't be with anyone, so yeah. 40? Nah, way too young. I represent all of him. I resent all of him. That guy, he took away years from me. I hate him. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm happier and better now, though. You see, so like I wouldn't go as far as to hate him. That's the thing as well, Katie, because yes, in one way of looking at it, you can think that he took years from you, but another way of looking at it is that you gave years to him, and him being ungrateful of that or unworthy of that energy doesn't make your giving of that energy any less valuable. So you still gave yourself and you still learned from those experiences. You still felt into what it is you want from a relationship, how it is you're giving to a relationship, how you want to be given to in a relationship. And if you didn't go through it with that person, you could have gone through it with another person. Or, you could have, for instance, lost the love of your life because you were going through that learning process with them instead of going through it with this guy, So don't hate him. Love him still for the things that he did teach you, and forgive him for the things that he hurt you with, my friend. He deserves the smiles. I just like to make him smile when he reads it. Thank you, my friend. That's the way. Absolutely. Even someone older yet immature is not. Exactly, dude. I feel the same way. Gold, I'll hate him too. Can I hate him too? No, don't hate him. Forgive him. Forgive and love him. What's the point of hating him? Because the act of hating someone is you thinking of them in a passionate way that is hurting you, right? Like they're not being like injured or put or turmoiled or perturbed by this hatred that you hold towards them. You're the one being perturbed. But if you love someone and you forgive them, I believe not only do you benefit, but they can benefit from that as well, you know. Like the sharing of that energy is significantly more powerful than the sharing, even with yourself, of negative energy. Truly yours. It's been forever, my friend. It's so nice to have you here. I'm passing by to give you love and positivity. Thank you for the hugs, my friend. I appreciate your love and positivity. No. Sending you healing, Katie. There we go. That's the way. How often do you shower? I shower daily, my friend. And thank you for asking. Why are you wondering, though? Is that the first thing that you think about? Melt more in the shower? For what it's worth, I draw little images on my scrunchie with soap, you know, before I wash myself, like a spell. Makes the soap work even better. That's not how it works. I can believe what I want. I wonder how many people take me seriously sometimes when I say stuff like that. Like I'll be really sarcastic or like satirical with something. You know what? I think maybe that's part of the fun. Thank you for the starstruck friend. Wait for hippie comments to flood in. I'm guessing we went front page again because we're a little bit behind on comments suddenly. Maybe. Like I'm guessing that's what you're saying about the hippie comments. It is early, mildly buzzed convo. It's every mildly buzzed convo I've ever had, all in one. Snormy, I'm happy that you appreciate the mildly buzzed conversations we're talking about, at least. Right? I think having these conversations, there's a reason that we want to have them, and we have them more than once. And in the sharing of these conversations and the understanding of these ideas, there is this genuine, like, opening up of the feeling side of ourselves. Really trying to move into that essence of what it is we call this experience. What you could do differently, you could stop hiding from reality with drugs, and that way you get to work with and find yourself. Hiding from reality, my friend. How do you think exactly it is I hide from reality with drugs? If you consider marijuana a drug, that is. Like, I feel I'm doing quite the opposite, right? Like, marijuana isn't necessarily something that takes anything away from me. Quite the contrary, at least. It gives me a very visceral and surreal experience of my reasoning about things. It will make me reason things over and over and over again, where I'll hold I'll practice 3 different thought processes for the same thing, where normally I just kind of be brushing through things with my task-oriented mindset as to do this thing, then get it done, do this thing, then get it done, then do this thing and get it done. I don't think that mindset that you consider not hiding as something that is always beneficial. You know, and it's not like I smoke weed all day, every day. It is something that I do with intention. Today my intention was to calm down. I was feeling myself in a place of anxiety and anger and like frustration and powerlessness about the state of our world and the climate that is changing at the moment. And then with that feeling within inside of myself, I asked myself what it is I need to give myself. And I felt that the practicing of calm energy is going to be what serves me today. And then I wrote the word calm on the paper that I rolled the joint with. And every single time I lit that joint, I asked myself how it is I can feel more calm. How it is we can share more of that calm. Doesn't feel like hiding to me, friend. I hope that you're not hiding from us. We love you too. Thank you for joining us. Is UP as an insult? Yeah, like to me it's a 100% compliment. The same, Edmund. You can still say at the end of the day, silly. Maybe have some change ups in your pocket, like when we all return to Stardust or something. You know, and when we all return to Stardust. I like that. Man, I haven't actually. So, Toasty, that's the thing as well. I don't necessarily cater or think about, I need to say these things. I kind of just let things flow as they come. But now, just because of that one thing that you said, you know, when we return to Stardust, when we melt into one again, now all of these things are coming into my head like, oh, you can say this, you can say that, you can. And now I'm going to try to do that. You have influenced me. You have shaped my perception of reality once again. Say whatever you want to say. Good catchphrase, lol. Good morning, Crafty. It's nice to have you here. When we all return to Stardust, I like that. I too like that. Edmund is taking Stardust. Yeah, it's been taken. No, I don't want to steal that one. Yeah, for me, then it is when we melt into one again, right? I mean, I can claim that one at least. I'm gonna steal it from Sensei technically, but I do like it. Oh, the smile. Thank you, friend. How did the breath work traumatize someone? People aren't used to it, and when you just see someone rapidly breathing, it can be something that's concerning because people assume heavy breathing is something closely related to anxiety, especially with the depiction of it in movies. You don't necessarily see someone in mainstream media, like the movies we've watched or the shows or the anime or the, you know, whatever. You don't necessarily, maybe in anime a little bit, you don't see meditation depicted that much, especially not breathwork meditation. And when you do see someone like in a state of like they're usually having a panic attack. So yeah, we've become very disconnected to our own breath and, you know, the function of our breath and how powerful our breath can be as well as humanity, unfortunately. That's your not deal. Everyone jumping on Melt's side anytime someone comes by with that hippie bullshit makes me so proud to hear it. Proud of everyone here. I mean, like, I don't even think it's something that's necessarily necessary, right? Like, I feel like if anything, I see these hate comments, these attacks of character, if you will, as something that, like, imagine someone trying to tackle you, but instead of you just being like stationary and rigid, you're like floating a few inches off the ground, and as they tackle you, you're just moving back in space, you know, decelerating this tackle slowly, bringing it to a standstill, and then giving that person a hug that was trying to tackle you, instead of just being like, no, poof, and they just run into you and hurt themselves. All right, or you're pushing back, trying to hurt them instead. It's not something that's necessary. We can catch them as well. Love them nonetheless. Oh, my catchphrase when my parents are around and something goes wrong is, gosh darn it. Why I gotta make this a whole the title of Hippie with Pride? I do too, Edmund. It's only cause nobody actually has anything constructive to say. Bro, if your sub 900 IQ could be in here and rock my worldview, I welcome it. Yeah, they just never do. Exactly, Toasty. Like, if someone like came into, like, let's take it back, because I feel the comment of like, oh, you are hiding from your world, if you will, with drugs, right? Instead of just being with yourself. Like, if he was like, you know, the reason I think you're hiding from yourself is because every time I see you smoking, you refuse to talk about these things, you refuse to consider these things, you refuse to like expand your understanding of this thing, or you like changing your behavior in this way, then I'd be like, yo, dude, damn, you're right, I should be considering more of that, I shouldn't be doing that, thank you for letting me know. If someone, you know, comes, as you said, Toasty, with constructive criticism in a way that can rock our worldviews, you know, completely shake everything I believe in, everything I hold true to myself, to the point that I have to reconsider my entire reality, then 100% do that, right? Like that is what I felt the most alive in my life as well. But it was a ground shaking reality from a depressive mindset to a progressive mindset or a changing mindset. Bro, thank you. I feel like I can compliment myself and others, but when it comes back towards me, it feels off or odd. Again, as I said, I feel it's just this unwillingness to like agree with someone that you're maybe kind of okay. You're pretty cool, dude. You're pretty all right. And we don't even want to give ourselves that much sometimes. Hi Melt, hope you're well. Thank you, Darkly. I'm doing well, my friend. I hope you're well as well. How have you been? How's time treating you? I'm getting a little bit behind. Hippie stands for highly intellectual person pursuing inner enlightenment. Hippie stands for hi. Yeah, just hi. Yes, I'm a hippie. The acronym stands for hi. Now I'm like thinking high intoxicated person pursuing intoxication extravagantly. If you wanna butcher it, you could go the other way as well. There's a small little bug in my glass. Can you excuse yourself? Thank you. I'm all about sushi. Give me all the raw fish. I don't think I've ever had. Well, not ever. I think I've had sushi once in China. Like raw fish with like caviar, eggs, and stuff on the sushi. It was kind of a fancy place, and it was because of it was at a fancy place that I accepted to eat it. But now I feel I've set the bar too high. Maybe I'll try and find the photos of that sushi that I ate, but I think the bar is now way up there. Now I can't eat sushi anymore. Completely fine to be a hippie, Edmund. It is when someone tries to say it's an insult that it becomes a problem. Like I think again, like when it's our perception of the word, when the word means to you, if someone says it to you, like oh you are a hippie. To me, it comes into my consciousness and like oh you are a highly intellectual person that's pursuing inner enlightenment, right? And I'm like yeah, that's exactly what I am. Yes. I'm trying to do exactly that. So that's what the word means to me. So even if you're trying to use it as an insult, right? Oh, you dirty, highly intellectual person pursuing enrollment. Oh, thanks. I'm still, still that. Thank you. Thank you for the wholesome as well, Mr. Sticks. What's up, hippies? That a niner. I hope everyone is having a day filled with peace and love. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here with us, that a niner. I hope the same for you, my friend. How are you doing? Love and common. What about your vow of eternal silence? I never made a vow of eternal silence, friend. I made a vow of eternal sharing, maybe, and that's what we're doing here. We're on day 208 of doing that. So, but not eternal silence, dude. I'm not that strong. I believe myself to be of some power, but eternal silence, no, I cannot. If you, it's the energy I love. We can shave every hair of your body, and I'm still here. Absolutely, my friend. That's the way. I mean, he's basically just radiates acceptance. That's pretty yeah, I mean, like it's not that difficult as well, cheeky. And in the contrary, it's easier to be accepting of others, to be loving of others, than it is to have this resistance and this, firmness to our interactions with one another. Man, it hurts you when you're like feeling that way. You can't be yourself. Self-confidence and body positivity is such a hard thing to teach yourself. A lack of both can lead you to make some awful decisions, which sadly I have. Nap Queen, it's okay, my friend. Those decisions, those scars, of the physical being can't touch the thing that you are. Nothing can. Nothing in this plane of existence can touch that thing, sully, harm, destroy that which you are, friend. And it's in becoming more identified with this and we free ourselves, you know, from these limitations, these worries, these separations as well. Totally hear that. Self-love is so important to keep yourself out of toxic relationships. Absolutely. Self-love buds only too late from self-love buds only too late for many people. I mean, what does too late mean? You know, it's a matter of time, Katie. If you take all time away, everybody eventually reaches a point of self-love. Even if it takes you 1 billion years, even if it takes you 1 billion lifetimes, you know, you're still going to reach that point of self-love eventually. Because that love of self is realizing that you are that self, you know, that you are that thing that is, that always is. He was abusive. I'm sorry, Katie. That's not okay. I'm also, yeah, you can be glad he's out of your life. Absolutely, I agree with that. I got heated. It's okay to be heated as well. I'm not trying to preach. I'm sorry if it came off like that. I'm just thinking into, you know, the experiences I've had as well, you know, with abuse. Like in high school, for example, and how the forgiving of those people that did those things to me and accepting of them as, you know, damaged individuals, or not even damaged individuals, as hurt people, I think is a better word to say it. Hurt people that was hurting people, you know, instead of holding this hatred towards them and like hurting myself in the holding of that hatred. Your experiences are valid. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I'm in therapy now, so, and meds. You're still gonna be fine, Katie. You're stronger than you know, my friend. The therapy, the meds, none of it can define you. But Mel, we want to be angry. No, I like, the thing is as well, angry doesn't work, right? It doesn't really work that great. I tried being angry, and being angry just kind of made me hateful of everyone and everything. You know, even made me hateful of life. Where, because I was so angry, I just couldn't care about things. I couldn't accept things for what they are. I couldn't see past my own ego in a lot of ways as well. Because in that anger, I also assumed that there was attacks happening, you know, regardless of context. It's not, you know, necessarily always wrong to be angry. There's reasons to be angry sometimes. And I get angry all the time as well about the stuff that happens in our world. Staying angry, though, I think is the problem. You're doing all the right things. Congratulations. You are, Katie. You are. Guys, sorry. Got really angry once in a while. It's okay, my friend. You don't have to apologize for that. That's why we're here for you. We're feeling with you. And having, you know, different perspectives, different opinions, different ways of feeling it or seeing it expressed in other people as well can help you process. You're all great. You're great as well, my friend. Anger is my easiest emotion. It is the easiest emotion. It's like the default state, right? Like enrage, and then you're like, ah. Enrage doesn't help. What I learned in therapy is that anger is a secondary emotion. It usually manifests from deep sadness, betrayal, or hurt, or disgust, etc. Disgust is my big one. For me too. Disgust and disbelief as well. But I think disgust and disbelief go like hand in hand. With my therapist too, which is important. I'm happy to hear that. I have bad depression. Can be hard to move on from negative feelings. I feel you, Toasty. We're here for you, Katie. Same, I've got PTSD and major depressive disorder. Went through 15 weeks of super intense therapy, 30 hours a week. How did that actually, you know, I mean, like, for what it's worth, cheeky poetry, you've been an absolute blessing and an absolute, like, shining beam of light as well. And I feel people that want to be shining beams of light usually end up, the most depressed, because we feel like, oh, I want to bring this light into this world. I want to, share with the world this understanding, this love that I know is possible, and then we don't see that, and that can be very disconcerting / discouraging in its own as well. Makes all the difference. So it can absolutely keep fighting. Good fight. You'll survive. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Nap Queen. It's time to focus on myself. It's really helped me grow. Keep it up. Proud of you. Good therapist. Infamous one says, I sent my hubby a super sweet text this morning after he came back. And he came back super negative. I got mad, but I didn't even reply. If you wanna see me miserable all day, go ahead, love. Whereas I would have sent an angry paragraph a year ago. I'm sorry that happened as well, Infamous One. And I don't necessarily think that was his intention. Like, I don't know what his intentions are. I'm just trying to be angel's advocate, if you will. Maybe he's going through something as well. Maybe he's hurting in his own way, and he's like lashing out at you because he knows you're the person closest to him, that he loves the most, that he has the most security within. It's very difficult for men sometimes to talk about why they're hurt, or if they're hurt, especially when they feel like they don't have a reason to be hurt as well. Then it becomes like a self-judgment, where it's like, oh, I'm feeling this way, I'm not supposed to feel this way. The reason I'm feeling this way is because I'm like, oh, I'm emasculating myself, or I'm not worthy, or social structures that we've built upon ourselves. But try, my friend, maybe if he comes back, just ask him, why it is he sent you that message. If there is underlying problem, not necessarily the message itself. That is growth, absolutely. Cannabis isn't numb, at least not for me. I've had ugly cry, hyperventilation, cry sessions baked AF on bud. It's not a mask, it's a megaphone, friend. I think so as well. In a lot of ways for me as well, Toasty. It has become something that allows me to, express and like share ideas as well. Like it opens me up to that part of myself that wants to express and share, esoteric ideas, if you will, things that aren't necessarily always thought about or felt about, or mainstream, if you will, and then talking about those things, feeling into those things. Gotten so much better at dealing with my anger. That is the way. If you wanna be a grouch, do it your own time. I'm not giving you my energy anymore. If you wanna be a grouch, do it on your own time. I hear you, Katie. Exactly, and I'm not going to let this negative mood make my mood negative. That's the way. Sending sometimes people just need space with their feelings. It's not a you problem, it's a them problem. That's true. Man. Feelings. What if feelings had feelings? Freaking Pixar movies. I'm happy that our, youth are growing up with these movies, and I've said it so many times. It does make me happy that they at least have some sort of insight into their own behavior and their own way of understanding. Yeah, 16 minutes behind in chat. I know initial rain. I'm having a hard time catching up, my friend. I block my boyfriend when I'm mad now, so I don't see or say anything I won't like, or leave the house. I used to do that also, 6 minutes behind. Now I just read and make a cup of coffee and hug the kids. That's the way, Infamous One. Smoke also helps. Daughter is everything, absolutely. I hug my dog. I have a little something similar. For a while it was bitter because the girl I had a crush on, I got a boyfriend. I took a break from chatting with her so that I wouldn't say anything. Would regret or hurt her. I would regret her. Would regret or hurt. I would regret or hurt her. I'm guessing you're trying to say I would regret hurting her if you said something because she's in a relationship, you know. I'm sure she will be, you know, and if it's meant to be, she'll come back to you now. Dogs are babies too, absolutely. I have a little baby sleeping on my lap right now. She's totally snoozing, oh absolutely. Kiki, yep, is sitting right there with him. She is. In the future, everyone will be on Reddit Live. Andy Warso? I don't know who that is, but I'm sure, you know, Reddit's going to be the one. Who's the stargazing? How's the stargazing where you're at? It's actually amazing. Initial Rain. We have like basically no light pollution whatsoever. Not bad. Any of you going to be at Lollapalooza? Unfortunately, I won't be there. Last time I went was 2015. Never been. It's a music festival in downtown Chicago. It's a festival. Oh, that sounds like fun. Kind of get overwhelmed in crowds. I like my headphone concerts. Just, you know, put your headphones on and like jam out at home. Like you'll definitely be one of my type of people as well. Like, I mean, there are festivals you can actually do that, where it's like a silent rave. Everyone just has headphones on. I'm doing good so far. I came in late, and we'll have to rewatch the first part of the stream later because it seems like I walked into the middle of some deep stuff. That usually is the case here at Staten Niner. Like, I feel there's so much information happening here, and like feelings being shared, and like understanding being tried to reach, if you will, that it becomes sometimes even too much for me to handle / process all of it. I'm so grateful for you friends who try and do the same for me. Walking into a headphone concert without headphones is probably the funniest thing to experience. I was just thinking that, Nav Queen, just like seeing everybody like jam out, but there's like dead silence, or you just hear like squeaks of the floor. I'm grateful for you today, friend. You are a bright spot. Thank you, Bay Evil. It's been a while, my friend. Thank you for sharing the space with us. I hope you're doing well. Kind of like a silent disco, pretty much like a silent disco. Mr. Sticks, oh my back. Thank you for the hugs, Bay Evil. Yep, everyone is just dancing in complete silence. I can't do silent disco. It's too awkward for me, lol. I've tried. Like, for me, it's just, I really appreciate and enjoy, you know, that warm bass feeling that like festival bass drums give you. Like, it's like, oh, like pulsates over you. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Imagine getting shushed at a disco. Yeah, you're like, yeah, this is the best. And people are like, hey, shh. Constantly hear music in my head. Thank you, ADHD. So my entire life is silent disco. I do actually as well, Edmund. For me, it's like more rhythm than just music. Like, I'll just be like, like, I've been whistling a lot as of late, where I'll like open the door and it will make like a, and I'll be like, that's a yikes, Kiki. That's a yikes. That's a yikes. Oh, that can't be comfortable. This might be. Yeah, music. It's always like it can be anywhere and everywhere. Lola doesn't have that, unfortunately, but Naro did, and it was a major vibe. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I would love to go to a festival. I'd highly recommend it, Katie, at some point in your life. Thanks for sharing your positive outlook. Thank you for sharing yours with me as well, friend. Katsado 2, anyone near you, anyone live near New York City here, anyone going to Gold Rush in AZ, I'll be there. Nah, I'm in the Southern Belly. It's a blessing and a curse that an honor. Mostly a blessing. Thank you, Edford. I know the feel, dude. I'm like 6 minutes behind Initial Rain. Not 16, friend. Katie, I used to live a fairly short drive from New York City, but Texas. I live in Texas now. Did you grow up in New York, Edmund? I live in Long Island now. For some reason, the first thing that came to mind when I thought Long Island was, I don't actually know that actor's name. The SNL, okay, actor, you know the one I'm talking about. Yeah, he shot his movie. I think it was like his life movie or something like that. Maybe it was like a rip on his life movie. But like you also lived in Long Island. That's like how much context I have of Long Island. Gold, do you live in New York? Do you have a New York accent? He's a teddy bear, and he wanted to watch a movie together last night, but I fell asleep. I'll make dinner tonight and make the movie and have that movie on when he walks in the door. That's beautiful. Do you think that's why he felt a little bit touched? I mean, especially if you want to like watch a movie with your significant other and you feel like there isn't the same love of it or connection for it. So I'm not saying his actions are okay, but I hope that it is something small like that. If it is, how did you turn away from anger? Have you become so enlightened? No, my friend, I don't think so. I just I realized how the anger was hurting me. I used to be, like ugly angry as to like, hitting my fists against walls, throwing things around the house. I remember like one very visceral moment when I was like throwing a cooler box throughout the house, like just losing my mind. And it's not pretty, it's not pretty. It's not something that was serving me spiritually. It wasn't something that was serving my family. It wasn't something that was serving, the image I had of myself. It was in all ways something that was just completely destructive. And with that understanding, I just made a decision to stop, at least to try and stop myself, when I noticed that behavior starting. Southern bellies, you say. I'm born and raised Texan here. Grew up in CT. My dad worked in the city. I do not have an accent. Funny, I live across the CT Sound. I love the flowery Hawaii shirt. Thank you, friend. It's nice to have you, Swiss cheese. It is a 45-minute ferry ride. Swiss. You're talking about the Hawaii shirt that he's commenting about? I lived in Milford and my family had a beach house in New London. We could see just across the sound. That's amazing. Hey, baby. Inside Out is so important for learning emotional intelligence. I do believe it is, and the fact that it's put into, context like that, in a visual representation of, and then a story gets told around it, because kids learn the best when it comes to stories. We all, as human beings, we learn the best when it comes to like a story. Good stories to learn at a young age. Loves that movie. Makes me wish we had flicks like that when I was a kid. It's going to do a lot for them, I believe. It is going to be a very essential part to our evolution as a species as well. I believe this conscious awakening is constantly happening. We're starting to reach critical mass. We're really like speeding up now. We we are still waiting for Meltfest. Goodness, Katie, like you're really flattering me, thinking that we'll grow that fast. That we'll have a Meltfest in 2021. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. That's beautiful to me. But Meltfest, I feel maybe 2024 vibes. I don't want it to be that long, but I don't know if we'll have all of the things in place to do something like that early. Like maybe I'm underestimating us or myself, but who knows? I'm open to anything. What do you think you would say to yourself if you ever met an alternate universe melt that never streamed to begin with? I'll just be like the first thing that came to my mind was just, dude. And I know that is like the most basic thing to say, but like, dude, why melt? Why did you never start doing this thing? And there was a reality that was happening as well, Toasty. That's the thing. I was already falling into that reality because I wanted to start streaming when I was like 17, more like end of 17, 18. And then like I snuffed that idea, went and got myself like the first job after high school, and then went to China. And then in China, because I had so much time to spend with myself, and I like also went from earning, let's say, 25% income in South Africa to no, more like 15% income to earning 100% income. So I had a lot more expendable money. I had a lot more time as well because I wasn't teaching that hectic of hours. I had to be like in office still my 9 hours a day, but I was only like teaching for like 3 hours of that 9 hours, and then I had to do like class prep and stuff, and I could write my book in those hours as well and stuff like that. And then in that space, I really realized how important it is for me to create and to do something more with my time, as to giving back. I was feeling like I was helping these kids, but it was, a one-way stream of importance. Like I was more there for, the capital that this job was giving me than I was necessarily there just to help the kids. And realizing that within myself as well was like, oh, this is not how it's supposed to be. And then I shifted my perception of that into a way where I was like trying to help these kids as much as possible, give them as much choice as possible. And in that process, I learned a lot about myself and about how I want to be, caring for people, if I will. So I think everything happened the way that it was supposed to. If we started any earlier, then maybe we wouldn't be what we are right now, if you will. I wouldn't be the same Melt. So yeah, man, what a great question, Toasty. I love that, dude. Meeting an alternate version of Melt that never started streaming. Like, man, I think about the alternate version of Melt that actually went and became an engineer a lot, because that was kind of the path that my parents and my school and my proficiency test was paving for me. It was like, yeah, you're gonna be an engineer. You're gonna be an engineer. And I was like, I'm gonna be an engineer to the world, because this is what I was being told. Everywhere I was like trying to find this answer of what am I going to do, who am I was an engineer. My dad was encouraging that, my mom was encouraging that, my school was encouraging that, my proficiency tests were encouraging that. But I didn't feel that was what right for me. I saw, like, and this is something that hurts me to say as well. Oh, love to me. I don't know if my dad has any dreams, and it hurts me to say that, and I don't know if I'm saying that from a place of ignorance, because he doesn't share that stuff with me. But for as long as I've known my dad, he's just been, been an engineer and been as like a tool to these industries that he's been working for. And he works in the he's a mining engineer, so he works in the mining industry. And they make use of a lot of big tools, important tools. And they have that mentality towards people as well. As you get used and then you get discarded. It was something that shocked me, and the fact that I was being told that this is, the thing, this thing, this thing that you're being shocked by, this is what you have to do. Goodness. Wow, that's a loaded question, Toasty. Thank you so much for like taking me for a spin. I'll say it, Inside Out was kind of a tearjerker for me. It's a good one though, absolutely, 39er. I feel that way as well, my friend. Same thing, a good question, Toasty. It is. You want to leave? Okay. See you again a little bit later. Oof. Oh. Oof, man. I can't melt as much with a little Doge on my lap. I think COVID is making an appearance at Lolla this year. Let's not jinx it, my friend. Let's hope for the best. Who is even playing Lolla this year? I wonder as well. Squeaks on the floor. Good on you for reading every comment. Down 10 minutes now. Yeah, 9 minutes now again. The bass Boshin is the best. Almost soul soothing. Yeah, soul soothing is right. And there's like a feeling of safeness that comes with it. And me and my friends have theorized the reason you have that safe feeling with the bass is because it has that like pulsating energy flowing over you vibe of your mother's heart beating when you're in her womb. Like it's literally this boom, 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 boom that like vroom, vroom, flows life into you. And then you grow up and you become this human being and you go to this festival and they have that vroom, vroom, vroom in an external environment to you when you're, you know, feeling these things, and there's like this genuine resonance with it, you know. You can vibe with it, you can ride with it, you can move to it as well. It's the best. Give Poppy snuggles. Poppy has been snuggled. Everything is music. Oh yes. Is that a goat? It's a cow, probably, Katie. That sound. The bird. Oh my goodness. While you whistle, will you whistle a Beatles song? I don't know any Beatles songs. Hey, do I? I don't think I know any like Beatle tunes in my from the top of my head. My friend, that bird is saying, "Hey," bird is saying, right? Sounds like a goat. Lol, the bird has an opinion for sure. Such a good. That's such a goat noise. Probably cows. Like maybe it was the bird that you heard. Why is Kiki so precious? I don't know. She's just a gem, like an absolute gem. It's ridiculous. A kazoo. Kiki is an actual fur baby. Yeah, she is. I love that the kazoo coven, the kazoo kid in essay. What up? Hey, who are you? Freaking kazoo kid, dude. She wubs you, bro. Oh, yes, it does. It's such a blessing to have her. Like, man, I'm gonna miss her. We're going to have to eventually move, friends. I'm gonna have to say bye to this place, to Kiki. Hopefully not for forever, but for a while. Yikes! I don't want to see Angry Melt. Yeah, like it's not that. That was you know in my teenage years when I was still, you know, being pumped full of hormones, drugs that was making me grow big and strong. So there was like a lot happening in my brain at that point of life. So I'm excusing myself somewhat. Not saying anything I did was okay, just being like, I kind of understand, dude. It's not okay, but I kind of understand. Thanks, guys. Just the sound is like, thank you, friend. It's nice to have you hear that. Now I want to go snuggle my puppy and do that. Why not? I can tell the trees an essay. I like this melt. I like you, friend. Thank you for still being here with me. Hitting or breaking things just make things worse. It's a great lesson to learn. Yes, it is. It's a necessary one to learn as well. And I'd rather learn it in my youth, you know, when I'm still a little bit crazy, than continue to do it as an adult. Y'all are great. You're great as well, Cheeky Poetry. Thank you for joining us today, my friend. It was a blessing having you here. Why damage your own house or property? It's anger, friend. Yeah, Thursday, it's anger. You see red flag, you see red, you lose yourself sometimes, and it becomes like a I don't care, right? So the house and the property becomes a part of this I don't care. Gets destroyed. Please, Mr. Lighter. Huh? Huzzah! Oh. It's only sparking like every 7th click or something. I give up. I'll melt more instead. I'm not going to like hurt myself anymore. I broke my screen of my GBA as a kid. Game Boy? Maybe it's a Game Boy, out of anger, and I still regret it. Just being like, damn it. Damn it. What did I break? I don't think, actually, like, I remember me and my dad were like on his motorcycle, and I had like a jacket pocket, like these side jacket pockets, and I had my phone in there, and as he accelerated, my phone flew out of my side pocket and fell on the ground and got completely shreked. But that wasn't necessarily something that I broke out of anger. Fortunately, I didn't break anything of like value. I like threw a plastic tub technically. Like that was the worst it got. And the beating of walls, you know, did more damage to myself, but fortunately my body did a heal. So we're okay. Not recommended either way though. What makes you qualified to dole out wisdom? I'm not saying that I know anything, friend. I don't have any qualification to dole out anything. I'm just sharing my experience and my understanding of things. You need to feel into your felt fact, you know, the immediate felt fact of your experience of what I'm saying. If for the thing I'm saying you feel is wisdom containing, then you take that little wisdom and you leave the rest, right? Take what you need. Feel into yourself. The anger wasn't even from a game either. Oh, that's interesting. I was actually thinking that you got like angry at a game. What was the anger about then? Now I'm curious, Edmund. Unfortunately, I'm historically resorted to hurting myself instead of acting out physically on objects or others. I couldn't get to hurting myself when I was depressed, interestingly enough. I could get to drinking pills, which is how I attempted to, you know, off myself. But I could never like cut myself or anything like that because it made me feel too alive, you know. Like I felt already like I was too painfully aware of things, and that's why I was depressed. I was like painfully aware and angry because of what I was seeing, and that was where my depression came from. PSA: don't self-harm, kids. Absolutely not. Like, please, if you even think about self-harming, reach out to me first. We can talk about it. What makes anyone qualified? Oh, absolutely. Meltfest 2024, I'll be there. There we go, Mr. Sticks. I look forward to it. Cheeky. What makes you qualified? What makes you qualified to question? Oh, getting this now. That's a good one. Love Melt. I met Tenacious D outside of the House of Blues, and I only asked what Dave Nor was like. That's hilarious, my friend. Man, I would love to meet Tenacious D. I would just love to have a conversation with Jack Black as well. He looks much. I love that. You're writing a book? Me too. I've been writing since last August. Would love to read it. Thank you, friend. What is your book about? I would love to know. And I am writing a book, yes. People can give their experience and try and say what they've learned from them. You don't need a PhD for that. Fortunately, we don't, Nap Queen. You're very much right. That's just the facts, babe. You can still be an engineer. I can, and I believe in ways I am. But I'm not engineering in this plane of existence. I'm engineering in my mind, dude. I'm like trying to build infrastructure of understanding, of self-development, of, you know, breath work and proper meditation, understandings of the self. It's, yeah, I think it's still the same tendency to try and organize and problem solve, you know, just on a more personal level. My father told me he'd pay for my college if I got a business degree. I said, fuck it. I studied art and English literature. Okay. Unfortunately, I didn't have that opportunity. And that's the thing as well. If my father could pay for my studies, I probably would have gone and studied. It's the plot for the Loki series, different variants through multiple universes. Yeah. My Nexus event would have been if I didn't start streaming, you know? And I didn't get kidnapped when I did start streaming, so it must mean that I'm not a variant. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But I want to be doing... Yeah, I believe we're on the right path. We're doing the things we're supposed to be doing. You're living your best life. No reason to feel bad about that. Absolutely. No regrets. Look who's awake. That was a good pop. Melt, East Coast Rabbit, it's nice to have you here as well. Oh, well, as well, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Do you have a stream? I see you on streams and I want to support you. That's beautiful. Same. Everyone has an ideal self. It can be depressing to think about. As long as we're trying and happy with our choices. That's the way Initial Rain. And we're just, like, as you said, we're trying. We're moving towards that what that ideal self could be for us. It's not necessarily something we're being in judgment of ourselves. We're just trying to become aware of what it is we want And then with that awareness, we start to take steps towards making that a realization. Mel's gotta pee. I do, Toasty. I do gotta pee, actually, man. But I'm trying to read all the comments before I tune out. You said before that you started to smoke to help with depression and sleeping. Did it also lead you to be a hippie, or did that happen before smoking? Interestingly enough, it had some sort of correlation, Christy. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen for all people, but it did help me calm down in a lot of ways. It kind of, blissed or tamed some of that anger that I was experiencing. Kazoo kid, wait a minute, who are you? He can pee anywhere. Technically, yes. Toasty, you're a detective. Nobody listens to techno. Let's go. That's hilarious. That's an interesting way to think about the bass, your mother's heartbeat I described. I subscribe to that theory. Yeah, like as I said, I'm not saying that's the truth or that's how it is. That's just like one of the things that me and my friends have like talked about or like theorized could be the reason. Melt, you can go pee. I'll go pee, Fred. Don't worry. We don't mind. I get a new lighter too. I'm chilling. I'm going to finish the comments and then I have to go and edit this as well. Like if I go now, I'll probably be done by around 9ish, but we're still in it. You're breathing on it. Oh, damn, it must be wet out there. What's everyone's sign here? You mean like star sign? I'm a Taurus as well. Seems me and Katie are sharing that sign. If anything, I'm interested. I joined. Now could you repeat? Ooh, goodness, dude. I say a lot of things all of the time. Like, you'll have to be very specific as to what it is you want me to repeat, my friend. But thank you for joining us, Specialist. Capricorn, there's more of us. Something my mom did pissed me off, and I grabbed it. My Game Boy was just an innocent victim. An innocent victim, dude. A casualty of war, if you will. Did anyone in your life sit you down and tell you to stop being angry when you were young? Or did you learn on your own? Unfortunately, I had to learn that on my own, friend. Unfortunately, I think I would have been too angry to listen to someone if they wanted to sit me down and tell me that. So I think it was necessary for me to learn on my own. December 26th, Pisces here. Rip to Edmund's Game Boy. Early January. You're the star. No, you, East Coast Rabbit. Dude, being an engineer was horrible. Took me 2 years. Do you realize that? It got so dark behind him. Yeah, it's like nighttime basically. Sun is setting. Some of it takes place in a psych ward during COVID, so I've got a relatively unique perspective. Whoa. The first generation Game Boy Advance 2. It's pretty intense, kind of weird. Some of it took place in a psych ward during COVID. What? I'm so confused. Cheeky. What are you talking about? Got so dark behind him. The sun's out. About where I am. Time zones are weird. Oh, yes, it is. You're right. Kazoo was back. I actually have a kazoo. I don't know if I think I might still have the kazoo. Want to hear something cool? We are the only things in the known universe that strives to be our best self. We are literally the universe evolving. Ooh, you were right, Toasty. You are right, but I believe we're the first beings that's conscious of that striving to be the best self. Instead of it just being like, oh, I'm strong, and because I'm strong, I give my genetics because I'm the strongest, and then my strong genetics become stronger, that striving for the best self. We have now stopped being primal, stopped being, a part of the wind, if you will, in that, and is now moving in a direction, striving for that even. I was closeted hippie before I started smoking. We just brought out the positive vibes from within, absolutely. Definitely learned at a young age, and I'm still learning, but it's hard to show some people, but we try. The only thing we can do is try. Initial. That blew my mind. It does. It really does. I managed a dispensary on the West Coast until COVID hit. It was the best job ever. Like, that's actually a job that I really look into as well. it'll be something that I can hopefully integrate, the cannabis industry. Edmund, that is right. Weed helps everything. I think it helps everything. It can help a lot. I lost connection for 5 minutes and it's already dark out. Yeah, exactly. Excellent thought, Toasty. It really is. Thank you for the silver, my friend. You're right, Toasty. You don't ever see the squirrels building spaceships or trying to achieve world peace. And yet they are so calm, and so happy in their little existences as well. And still trying to better themselves, in some way by storing more nuts so that they'll have, resources to eat off when it becomes winter. So there's some sort of striving for the betterment of experience of the self. We're just more aware of why it is we're doing that, what it is we want to do it for. Nice to see you as well, Red Clicker. It's been a while, my friend. Thank you for joining us. I was talking about my book. Message must not have been sent. Oh, starting it in the psych ward. Okay, like, what was the context? Like, what is it about though? Like, I feel I'll have to scroll up too much. Okay, we'll be here again, my friend. Maybe we can share our books with each other when they're done writing. So it's also like a playlist. Went into a psych ward. And they charge me 10 grand too. The psych ward is bad. Goodness, 10 grand to be in the psych ward. Like, yeah, we know you have all of these issues and all, but now because you slept in our rooms, you have to give us all this money. Hello, my friend. Hey, big instruction. I'm sorry to leave it off your friends. We're like reaching the bottom of the comments. Humans came from something that looks similar to a squirrel. Yeah, like a small little rodent of a creature. Depends on the psych ward, but yeah, most places aren't about helping, just containing people. Unfortunately, that is the reality that we're facing right now. And I do think as we're... Man, that old dog has such a depressing bark. Love you all as well. Like, I think we can make everything better, especially when it comes to the way we care for humans. And when we do that, in psych wards and prisons and schooling systems and just human beings as human beings on this planet, that's when we're going to make things better. I love you, friends. Thank you so much for joining with me here and for with me becoming our best selves. I love your dog making this. I love him as well, nonetheless. Thank you, friends. I'll see you again tomorrow.